Getting the Platinum Trophy for Horizon Forbidden West was no easy feat. It's a journey filled with epic battles of relentless machines, so stay with me and I will show you what I did to get the Platinum Trophy. Also, this video will contain spoilers, but let's crack on with the trophies, starting with this one called Stealth Killed 10 Machines. And you can get this for sneaking up and stabbing them, or shooting them with an arrow, or just planting an explosive trap. And we do have a friend with us, and his name is Vale. He's also super sneaky apparently. Reached the Daunt was the next trophy up, and I got this for continuing the story of traveling west. While on the way to the west, I do come across one of my favorite characters. His name is Aaron. He loves to fight and he loves to drink. The trophy I got my hands on next was called Secured Passage to the Embassy, and how I managed to secure this trophy was by taking out all the bristlebacks that were in the way. And yes, I did use acid arrows on animals that are not really affected by acid. And then I was on to the next trophy called Attended the Embassy, and I acquired this trophy by going to a parlay that I should not have attended, but it wasn't all bad though, because I got an absolutely class glider out of it. And with that shit behind us, we progressed on to meet a new person called Zoe. She asked for our help and we give it, and in return it leads us to the next trophy called Established the Base. And it's just like it sounds, Zoe led us to a base that we can use throughout the game. It's not very homely, but it will do for now. And we're not done meeting people yet, because we get to meet another one, Catalo. He doesn't look the brightest, but with his aid I managed to unlock my next trophy, Recovered Ether. And what I did to get this trophy was climb down into some creepy dude's basement to get ether. With that dealt with, Recovered Beta was the next trophy I managed to get, and this trophy is for recovering a doppelganger of Aloy after fighting off what I can only describe as way too overpowered machinery. While on a ride to the next trophy, I'm curious, how long do you think you could last in this world for? Moving on to the next trophy I managed to capture, it was called Rescued Poseidon, and to recover Poseidon you had to drain all the water around Las Vegas. And let me tell you, once you had it drained, the Loch Ness Monster was not happy about it. This man should definitely be a horror villain. I mean, he came out of absolutely nowhere. This man did not come alone, because we got to meet a new person called Alva. With her help, it actually led to my next trophy called Recovered Demeter, and you can recover this by fighting off a giant ass metal bird. And with the big metal bird dealt with, you can go in and then finally collect Demeter. On to the next trophy I managed to get my hands on called Discovered Pharaoh's Faith. What I did to get this trophy was climb into the world's oldest hipster's bunker just to find out what happened to him. Reached level 20 was the trophy I got immediately after the last one, and I'm fairly sure you know how to reach level 20. You know, kill things, do missions, that sort of thing. The people behind this door as well are just gigantic assholes. Like, they could have opened that up and let me in instead of forced me to fight that thing. And speaking of fighting machines, some of these machines are absolutely just brutal. I mean, I dodged all these things' attacks, had good bit of health, and I still ended up getting killed by one thing. But the reason I was down in that cauldron is to get an override pass so I could mount a bird, and because of that it led to my next trophy called First Tallneck Overridden. And you can acquire this trophy by getting to the top of something called a tallneck. Flew on the Wings of the 10 was the next trophy I managed to unlock thanks to my new bird mount, and I used that bird mount to fly into an arena to help out some friends and take on this bad guy right here. Could you imagine being a person in this and you just see this lady running in slow motion? You'd be wondering what she's doing. And with one of the smaller problems solved, we go on to take on the big problem, the main bad guys of the game, and I couldn't do what anyone else other than my best mate Aaron. While here, it leads to the next trophy. Picked up 5 heavy weapons, and to find these heavy weapons that you have to pick up, they come off metal animals. Do you reckon she's overcompensating for something by using these big weapons? A bit further on in that mission, and I managed to unlock my next trophy called Use the All Elemental States, and those elements are frost, acid, electricity, fire, what I can only describe is holy water, and plasma, whatever the Christ that is or does. I then went on and took on the final boss, and this was the biggest mistake I made in the game, because I was far too underprepared for this, and I got the shit kicked out of me for absolutely ages. So I decided to quit out from the main boss and go see if I can level up by getting stuff for the people to open up the arena. While out getting this gear, I managed to wrangle up my next trophy called Tore Off 100 Components, and getting this trophy is exactly like how it sounds. you have to take off 100 components of animals, metal animals. I want to be clear on that. And since we're on about the arena, while battling in there, I got another trophy. Completed arena challenge set. What a mouthful. And this is another trophy that has the same name as what you have to do to get it. You have to complete challenges that are set in the arena. I then went to go buy some new gear so I could finally take on the last boss of this game. Realizing I couldn't buy anything here, I went on to the next person. And with new gear in hand, I went on to take on the final boss once again and ended up getting my ass kicked. After a few more attempts, discovered Nemesis was the next trophy I unlocked, which was for beating the final boss. And then I discovered that Pokemon has changed so much since I was a child. I then progressed on to get the next trophy called All Recon Machines Killed. And the trophy is exactly like it sounds. You have to kill 10 recon machines, which can be Skydrifters or Burrowers. There are others, but these are probably the easiest to unalive. While hunting down more animals, I found a pair that drove me absolutely nuts to try and take out. And speaking of hunting down animals, this led to the next trophy, All Transport Machines Killed. And these machines can range from shell walkers to bellowbacks. And now for a trophy that's a little bit different, called Aided Catalo. And how we aid Catalo is by getting him new parts for a brand new arm of his. And metal arm is fairly cool though. While getting the new parts for his arm, I fought two machines and they just kind of disappeared. Genuinely have no idea what happened to them. But let's move on to the next trophy I managed to wrangle up, called Recovered Alva's Data. And how you get this trophy is by recovering Alva's data, but you also have to climb to the top of this building to get it. I then got my next trophy, reached level 30, and this is once again just by taking on missions or beating animals or beating people. I don't know what else I could add to this trophy. Heal the Land Gods is a trophy I can't tell you about though, and it is a trophy where we actually help Zoe. And how we help Zoe is by going around and fixing up the Land Gods that are trapped by giving them a reboot code. And now for a bit of a different trophy, it's called Chose a Desert Commander. And to get this trophy, believe it or not, you have to make a choice between these two people. The person I didn't pick was not happy with my choice by the looks of it. And why is it that none of these people can do anything for themselves until Aloy arrives to help? Like even the next trophy I got here, called Saving the Daunt. You can only claim this trophy if you solve the problems that are bothering people in the Daunt. But let's move on to a bit of a different trophy called First Rebel Camp Completed. And you get this trophy for going to one of the rebel camps and taking it over by unaliving all the people in it. They were bad people, of course. What do you reckon this person was trying to accomplish? The next trophy that I managed to claim was called Defeated Azira. And how I claimed this trophy is by going into her camps and taking out all her followers. And she wasn't too happy about me taking out her troops, so we had a battle and I won. And of course, I had some backup from my good friend Aaron, and then he proves how tough and badass he is. I then went and got probably the coolest trophy in this game, completed a long glide. And what you have to do to claim this trophy is glide for 60 seconds or longer. After completing the long glide, I actually managed to find a mission up in the mountains. And I wouldn't bother showing this mission unless I found the end of it absolutely hilarious of what your man did to the other fella. I don't know if it was unfair or justified, I just found it hilarious. It came out of absolutely nowhere. But the next trophy, complete 4 rebel outposts, didn't come out of nowhere. And it's just like as it sounds. You break into rebel camps, you take out their leaders, and that's how you take over the camp. Moving on to the next trophy, it was called Complete a Set of Salvage Contracts. And what I did to complete these contracts and get the trophy was take parts off animals so he could build armor. Advancing on to the next trophy I got, it was called Performed 3 Melee Combos. And once again, this trophy is exactly as it sounds. You have to perform 3 different melee combos. I then went on to fight the pitmasters and realized I wasn't up to the task, so I decided to upgrade my gear, and this led to my next trophy, called Unlocked 3 Weapon Techniques. And the only way to unlock these is by going into the upgrades menu and using your skill points. I mean, come on, what type of bullshittery is this? And these two aren't even the worst of the pitmasters. Going on to the next pitmasters, I realized I'm going to need to upgrade myself once again. With all the upgrading, it did lead to my next trophy called Fully Upgraded a Valor Surge. And you can acquire this trophy by upgrading the middle part of your warrior skill tree. And there was one more trophy I wanted to get called Skill Tree Learned, which you get for learning the full skill tree of any of the 6 skill trees. And this was the last pitmaster, and I thought he was far too unfair bringing a shield into the fight until I got the trophy Defeated the Enduring. And what this trophy is defeating an old woman who is an absolute bitch to defeat. Please tell me I'm not the only one who struggled to defeat this lady in one fight. But let's move on to a bit of an easier trophy called Obtain 3 Stripes at a Hunting Ground. And how you can get your hands on this trophy is by going to any of the hunting grounds and getting 3 full stripes at any of the tasks they've give you in the shortest amount of time. When I went to the next hunting ground, I realized I was going to need a new weapon. And once I bought that new weapon, it led to my next trophy. Obtained all weapon classes, which is just getting or buying every weapon class in the game. And that last weapon in the game I bought, I thought is the coolest weapon in the game. And now at a new hunting ground, I don't need weapons. I needed to learn how to control a claw strider. So I went on my way and I acquired my next trophy, First Core Overridden. And unlocking this trophy just grants you access to override machines that can use as pets. And with that, I went back to the hunting grounds and this let me get my next trophy, obtain 3 stripes at all hunting grounds. And this is the exact same as last trophy, just a bit more work, just getting all 3 stripes at all hunting grounds in the shortest amount of time. And the next trophy I got may sound a bit familiar, and it was all combat machines killed. And those combat machines can range from scrounger machines and of course thunderjaws. Acquiring the next trophy, all cores overridden, was quite easy. You just have to go into every cauldron you find on the map and override it, which gives you access to nearly all the machines roaming the map. And I think some of the machines in this game should not be overridden. Speaking of overriding machines, this leads to another trophy called Win 2 Gauntlet Runs, which is just a fancy way of saying win 2 races while on the back of a machine. And another easy trophy I acquired soon after was called Completed 3 Relic Ruins. And this is just solving 3 puzzles that are out in the world and collecting an ornament. And getting this ornament actually helped me get another trophy. Recovered 5 different collectibles. Those collectibles can range from a black box or an ornament like I said, or even information from a drone. I then went on to get one of the longest trophies in the game called All Machine Types Scanned, which is like it sounds, you just scan every type of machine in the game. Some are missable, so be careful. And since we're talking about machines, I'll mention the next trophy I got called All Acquisition Machines Killed, which can be either spike snouts or the really freaky looking wide maws. And this is a trophy I should have got way earlier in the game called Upgraded 3 Weapons. And you get this for upgrading any weapons. I went with the green ones because they were easier. The next trophy up was very similar to the last one, where it was upgrade 3 outfits. And once again, you get this for upgrading 3 outfits. And again, I went with the green ones because they're simple. I stayed with upgrading for the next trophy. Upgraded every pouch type, which is upgrading every pouch you have. And you have to buy food to get your food pouch. The next trophy, Enhanced Weapon with Coils, was kind of an upgrade. But what you have to do is put 2 coils into your weapon. Any coils will do. I then went on to get the next trophy, Used Dyed Flowers, which is for dyeing one of your outfits using flowers you collect. I then went on to win games and a trophy called Defeated Machine Strike Challengers, and you get this for beating 2 of the NPCs in the game. Some of the people that play this game are absolute assholes as well. And then I went on to get a slightly cooler trophy called Road All Regular Mounts, and there are 4 mounts you get in this game. I'll name 2. One is the bristleback here and the other is the bird. And I wasn't done overriding machines just yet because I got this next trophy, 10 types of machines overridden. And this is another trophy that sounds exactly like it is. You just override 10 different types of machines. And we're not done with the machines yet because I got another one, completed 2 flying mount quests. And this is another quite simple trophy. You just use your mount during a mission twice. And then I continued on and I got my next trophy, reached level 50. And I'm fairly sure you know how to get one of these trophies by now. And then I was on to my second last trophy, all tall necks overridden. And this was like an earlier trophy I already mentioned. You just have to override all the tall necks on the map. And then the platinum unlocked as I was going down the rope from the tall neck. And now I'm going to rate the game and I'll give it a solid 6 out of 10. And it could be higher depending on your difficulty. Some stuff will give you a challenge in this game, but as long as you have ammo and a good few weapons, you should be fine. And this brings me to the end of the video. I hope everybody enjoyed. I also hope to see you in the next one, and goodbye.